this was the first time that I met him. And when I went home, my mom asked me why him, because I'd met a lot of different teachers, priests, swamis, lamas. It didn't matter to me. I was very drawn to different traditions. And I told my mother the only way I could describe what I saw that morning when I looked into his eyes, because when I walked in, he had his head down, and he always just sits with his hand, his right palm above his other, and he had his head down and his eyes closed. I walked over and I just bowed, and he put his head up a little and he opened his eyes, and what he called Shaktipat, to receive blessings through the eyes. But this was different than that. This was something that I had never seen before. I told my mother what it was like was imagining two keyholes in a door and looking through these two holes, but looking out into an ocean the size of a universe. But I want people to try to imagine trillions of galaxies. I know people have an idea of a universe, but think of the Hubble telescope and its infinite universes and galaxies upon galaxies. That's what it was like, but looking through it through two eyes. But it had a fluidness to this galaxy. It was like water. But the only thing is that the water, there was not a single vibration upon the water. It was perfectly still. And I remember I got goosebumps. My heart started beating, and I thought to myself, he's done it. He is absolutely complete. He's transcended everything. And even the ideas of beyond Buddha, beyond anything I had ever, any kind of conceptual thought I'd had, he had transcended it. And I sat there for about maybe 15, 20 seconds looking into this, thinking this is impossible. Someone, again, has come to this world complete. And the thought that entered my mind was, you've come back for me. But that was a very narrow view, because later I'll talk about what he's come back for. And it's not just me that he's come back for. So I walked out of this room, and I went up to my girlfriend Millie, and she was really upset with me. And she said, we're going home now. And I told her, we can't go home. I've been waiting 6 years for this. I said, give me 1 day here. Give me 24 hours. And in 24 hours, you don't want to be here, but I'll go home with you. So we stayed in these tents. And that night, I prayed to Dharma Sangha. And I asked him, whatever it is you do, fill Millie's heart full of love. And let me stay for these 6 weeks. So the next morning we woke up, and I rolled over to her and I said, are we going home? And Millie said, no, we're going to stay the 6 weeks. So I asked, why are we staying these 6 weeks? Millie said that she got up from the tent in her dream and walked out, and there's a little hill to the second tree about 10 feet high. Millie had walked to the edge of this field, and she said she looked out into the field and she saw thousands of monks in the field, bent over in yellow and red robes, picking up flowers, except for one monk was different, and he wore white robes. And he picked up a flower and he turned around and he illuminated the whole of creation. And she said, that's why I'm going to stay. She said, I'm interested who this boy is.